Hey guys, it's Sharon here, and I'm here to do this video because I wanted to do a haul of the items that I got from the Chicago Pen Show. Now, a pen show is basically just that. It's a pen show where people that are pen enthusiasts gather to buy and sell mainly fountain pens, but you can also find some nice roller balls and ballpoints, but it's mainly a fountain pen related thing. There's a lot of vintage pens, quite a few moderns as well. So basically these different vendors and people come to set up their different tables, and they sell their wares, and people come to spend a lot of money and just get together and have a great time. There's different pen shows throughout the country in different cities, and I believe they have them in Europe as well, in the UK and Germany and that. But some of you probably heard of the DC show, which is probably the biggest one right there, which we have not gone to. This is our third Chicago Pen Show. We just go to the Chicago one because, oh, good grief, we can't afford to go to any others because we kill it. I'm telling you, every time we go to the Chicago Pen Show, we kill it, and we come home with a lot of pens and a lot of stuff. So yeah, I would love to visit other pen shows, but, again, it's not cheap to travel, and of course, you got that expense, plus, you're obviously going to find a lot of pens there that you like, and so my husband and I, we just go to the Chicago one. This is our third one, as I've said, and thoroughly enjoy it. You meet a lot of great people, just so many nice people, not only the vendors, but also just, different people that are there to look and to buy, and just, there's just such a camaraderie when you're, in that community, I believe. So really thoroughly enjoy it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you what I got. Now, I came away with 9 pens, but I also got some other things, like had to feed my ink addiction, and also got some a few other things. Now, if I'll tell you the vendors that I got the things from, and if they have a website, I will put that into the description section. If not, then I won't be able to include that, but I'll tell you who I got the stuff from. So first of all, let's go ahead and show you the non-pen items. I'll go ahead and start with Anderson Pens, which this is run by a couple named Brian and Lisa Anderson, based out of Appleton, Wisconsin, and super nice people. just so nice. So nice. So they have pens, they have journals, they got paper, ink, of course, and just other fountain pen paraphernalia and things like that. So let me go ahead and show you. Well, okay guys, I got some journals. Okay, I know, totally crazy, but you know what, they had these beautiful paper blanks journals there, and I just couldn't resist. I love paper blanks, and sometimes I can't always find the patterns and stuff that I'm looking for, so it's kind of nice that they bring those so that I can take some of them off their hands. Alright, so the first one is, now this is the ultra size. They have 3 different sizes. This is the ultra, which is the biggest one. This is, and they've also got a midi, which is the next size down, and then they got the mini. Now, there is an exception to this rule, because I do have a large journal, very large, that I had picked up from Amazon in one of my hauls that you probably saw, and it's got the blank pages, but it's huge. More like a desk journal, I guess. But the main sizes that we're going to work on today are the Ultra and the Midi. So this one is called the Ventaglia Marrone journal, I believe. I think that's how you say it. So this is the back of it. And this is the one that has the clasps on it. The clasps. And the paper in it, the edging of the paper kind of looks like real vintagey kind, I guess, for lack of a better word. I believe the ultra size is pretty close to the 9x7. I'm pretty sure. So here are the end papers to it. There's the back of it with the back pocket, and then beautiful paper inside. This is you get beautiful paper with paper blanks, faint lines with it. Very fountain pen friendly. I love it. Next is the Mother of Pearl journal. Again, this is the ultra size. Now, all of these do have bookmarks, and this one is kind of sticking out that you can see right there. This is the Mother of Pearl journal. This does not have the clasps, but it has a magnetic closure. So this is the back of it. So it opens like that. Here are the end papers. And of course it does have the back pocket. And then, of course, the lovely Paper Blanks paper. So, Mother of Pearl. This is the Honey Bloom journal. Again, this is ultra size. Here's the back of it. This has got a magnetic closure like the other one does. Here are the end papers. And the back of it with the back pocket. And, of course, the beautiful Paper Blanks paper. This is the Maya Blue journal in the midi size. I've been looking for this pattern for ages now. I do have this in that extra large size that I was telling you guys about, but I've been looking for this in the ultra size and have not been able to find it lately. It seems like it's pretty scarce, but it has one clasp, and then again the edging of the paper looks very vintage. Here's the end papers to it, and then, oops, take that out. And then here is the back of it with the back pocket. Now, the midi size, I believe this is more of a 5x7 size. So here's the beautiful Paper Blanks paper. Again, some faint lines. I'll give you a comparison from, this is the midi size, and then here is what the ultra looks like next to it. So quite a bit smaller. But a very nice size if you're wanting something a little bit more portable that you can put in a small bag or something like that. So that is the Blue Maya journal. This next one is, I believe this is called the Fortuna journal. That print back there is a little tiny. It's got an elastic closure. Here's the back of it. Again, this is the midi size. So we're going to take this off. Now what's kind of neat about this elastic is it doesn't come, like you don't see the elastic straps that you've seen in the back, like what you see with other ones like Paper Blanks or other ones. So we'll go ahead and open it up. Here are the end papers. Here's the back of it with the back pocket. Where they attach the strap, it's like underneath the end papers, so it's kind of tucked out of the way rather than having it poke through the back like that. So it's kind of interesting that way. And of course our beautiful Paper Blanks paper. So that is the Fortuna journal in the midi size. Now this last one is called an Equence journal. I've never seen anything like this, but I was asking Brian Anderson about this journal, like what it was like. This came actually wrapped in cellophane, but I took it off because I wanted to dive in and see what this journal was like. But he said that, well, let me show it to you first. Equence, and then it's kind of like this nice red color. Now they had a bigger one too. This is more of the I think this is an A5 size, pretty much. But they did have a bigger size, which I did not get because I wanted to see if I was going to like this journal before I actually invested in the other one. But pretty plain on the inside right there. You can just start writing on that first page. Well, this is like a, yeah, you'd want to start writing on this page here. This is the protective, I guess the end papers or whatever that you'd call it. Very plain though, and this is the back of it. But what's really nice about this journal, and I was asking Brian about this journal, it's got blank pages, it lies flat. The paper feels very smooth, so I think it would hold up to the fountain pen very well. Brian said it did, but what he said is it's very flexible, which it most certainly is. It's bendable, lies flat, but you can fold it in on itself, you know, if you wanted to fold it back and then write like this, which makes it very nice for maybe a travel journal, or you could even do an A5 size Fobonichi in it or whatever. So this is very rugged and one that would easily be able to be taken on a trip or something. So that is the Equence journal. That's all the journals that I got. Now let's go ahead and go into the inks. I got several inks. Well, actually, before I show you that, I did get one of their scratch pads. Now the pages were full when I got them, but we had torn off a few because we were using it for testing purposes and stuff. But this is one of their scratch pads that they have, and I went ahead and picked that up for testing purposes. Now let me go ahead and show you the inks that I got from them. This first one is the J. Urban 1670 Anniversary Collection. And this is in the color Emerald of Chivor. And what's really cool about these inks is maybe you can kind of see on the bottom there, the gold flecks in it. This ink has gold flecks in it. Oh, there it goes. It's shining right there. So there's 4 inks in this collection. There's this Emerald of Chivor, which is green. There is Stormy Gray. There's Blue Ocean. And Rouge Hematite, which is a very pretty red. But what's nice about these inks is they got little gold flecks in it. So when you write with them, you will see little gold flecks in it. So before you fill your pen up, you want to give the bottle a shake to disperse the flecks because they will settle. They have a tendency to settle toward the bottom. So here is what the bottle looks like. Very pretty little wax seal on it. And this has got green ink in it, hence Emerald of Chivor. It's got like a nice little wax cap on it right there. So that is Emerald of Chivor by J. Urban. I believe this is a 50 milliliter bottle of ink. And oops. Put that back in there. Now you also get like a little leaflet here that kind of tells about the company and the ink, I guess, and so forth. But it's not in English, so there's no way I'm going to be able to read that. I wanted to try these, let's see if I can get them. I wanted to try these Diamine Shimmertastic inks. I've heard a lot about them and how pretty they are, and from what I am told, they're kind of like the J. Urban 1670th anniversary ones with the shimmery flecks in it. So I'm looking forward to trying these out to see how they do. This one here is Lightning Blue, kind of a lighter blue. It kind of gives you a little bit of a representation of what it may look like, but you can't really go by that. It's best to kind of test it out and see. So we're going to take it out. Now, again, it may tend to settle toward the bottom, so just give it a shake before you fill your pen up. Here's the label. This, I believe, is also a 50 milliliter bottle of ink. That is Lightning Blue. And then this one here is Blue Pearl, kind of a darker ink, darker blue ink. Here's what it looks like here. Again, shake it up before you fill your pen. There's the label. Okay. Next is the Pelikan Edelstein Ink of the Year. This is Aquamarine. Now these Pelikan Edelstein inks, sometimes they have some in their regular line, but they have an Ink of the Year. And this is the one for 2016, Aquamarine. Very pretty packaging. It kind of gives you a little bit of a representation right there on the little indentation here. And it comes cushioned in these little pieces. We're going to go ahead and take it out. Try to get it out like this. Okay. So, very pretty bottle. It says Pelikan. And there's what the ink looks like. I think this is 80 milliliters. So, Pelikan Edelstein Aquamarine Ink of the Year. Next is going to be some Mont Blanc. Oops. Next is going to be some Mont Blanc. This one is Blue Hour. There's the box. You get a little fold-out paper here that talks about the company, I guess, and the ink and all that. This is a 50 milliliter bottle of ink. No label on it, but it's got the Mont Blanc logo. But that is Blue Hour, and that's a very pretty ink. These next ones are going to be a little different. These are 60 milliliters. Mont Blanc. This first one, I believe, is going to be a toffee brown. Oops, I put it in kind of upside down. So we're going to pull it out. There's a little ribbon right there that you pull it out of the box. Very nice presentation packaging. So here, it's got the Mont Blanc label. It says Mont Blanc, but it looks like a boot. This bottle is in the shape of a boot. So I always thought that was kind of neat. But this is a very pretty brown. So very interesting. And then this one here is lavender purple. Same kind of deal. Again, a 60 milliliter bottle of ink. There's the logo and it says Mont Blanc. This is a lavender purple color. Very pretty. I love this ink. So pretty. So anyway, to get it out of the box, you would just kind of take the ribbon and just kind of pull a little bit. So those are all the inks that I got from Edison Pens. Now I'll show you another ink that I got, but I got this from a place called Indy-Pen-Dance. They have ink, pens, paper, they do repairs, you know, that kind of thing. They sell, I believe that they're mainly into the modern pens. So if you want vintage, I think you would have to look elsewhere. But I got a diamine ink, diamine marine from Indy-Pen-Dance. And now this is just a regular diamine, it's not the Shimmer-tastics. So here's the diamine bottle. Nothing really to write home about, it's just a plain bottle, but the ink in it is very, very pretty, so that's really what counts. Alright, so going back to Edison Pens, I got a few other things, a couple of other things. I got this pen case. Now it came wrapped up in some paper and a protective bag, but I took it out. This is a 24 pen case. It holds 24 pens. It's got like a little snap thing on it on the back, but it's zippered. These are the cases that my husband and I really like. He gets the brown color, I get the black, but it is definitely leather. Smells like leather. I wish you guys could feel this. I mean, this is really nice. These are nice pen cases. But it holds 12 on this side. And then the flap lifts up here, and then you get 12 over here. And you get this flap so that the pens aren't going to hit each other and so forth. It's just extra protection. But you put the pens in the little loops right there to hold them in place. And then the flap goes over these here, and then it just closes up like that. Okay. And I did get another case in that same style, but this is a 12 pen case. Same kind of deal. Now I do have pens in this, and I'll talk about these pens in a minute. But again, you get the flap that folds over. 6 here and then 6 here, so this holds 12. Again, leather. Smells like leather. It feels like leather. Just, so nice. These cases are just lovely. And I do have it open so that I could show you guys a little bit more quickly. So these are the things that I got from Edison Pens. Now, I did get a couple of pens from Anderson's. I did get 9 pens, as I said. I came away with 5 modern and 4 vintage. So let me go ahead and show you the 2 pens that I got from Anderson's. This is a Faber-Castell, whoops. This is a Faber-Castell Lume. And they come in the different colors. I got this one in purple. My daughter got one in lime green. But it looks very nice. I believe it has a medium nib. I'm going to go ahead and get my little scratch pad so that we can test it. It posts quite nicely. Just kind of a, let me show you. It's just kind of a pull cap. You have to get the converter separately though. It did come with a cartridge, but you got to get the converter separately. And we're going to try to write a little bit. My writing is not going to be the best sitting right here. Faber-Castell. Yeah, this is a medium nib. Now this ink that I put in here, I borrowed one of my husband's inks. This is a J. Urban, and I would totally butcher the name. Sort of like a, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was a purple ink that he got. Pensier, whatever, Pensier, I can't even say the name of it. Anyway, so that writes very, very nicely. Very, very, very nicely. Very smooth. The only thing is when you're holding the pen, it kind of feels a little bit slippery. Right there. So when your hands kind of start to get a little bit warm and whatnot, it may start to feel a little slippery. Now the next pen I got from Edison Pens, and I have been dying for about the last year and a half to get this pen. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens in the Bronze Age. It's got the spring clip from the Ponte del Vecchio Bridge, I guess they call that. But this is the one that's made out of the lava from Mount Etna. And you can kind of see the bands right there with the bronze or copper or whatever. But they call this the Bronze Age. And the little finial here, if you have a magnet, you can pull this off and then use it with their MyPen system. This it comes off like this. It's like a little twist cap. Now this has what they call their Dream Touch nib. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. This is what they call their Dream Touch nib. It's a palladium, 23 karat palladium nib. Now I got this in the extra fine because I have been told that this is kind of a bit of a gusher, and they were right. So this is the Homo sapiens. My handwriting is going to be horrible at this angle. It's not great anyway, but this angle just is not the greatest. Extra fine. Very smooth. I love how this writes. I mean, oh my goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, I can show you how it was presented, because I do have boxes for all of these. This is the Visconti box, which is what it came in. So, I can go ahead and undo it. Turn it this way. And it just opens like this. You get a little, I believe this is a little polishing cloth that they give you with it, because the metal on this will patina over time, and you can polish it up if you like. It's got a little Visconti booklet that talks about their company and the pens and so forth that you can take advantage of. And then one of Edison Pen's business cards. And then it came in this little cellophane sleeve that we have seen. So I just took it out, and then the pen would just lie in that little clip right there. So that is how the Visconti would be presented. Got the little Visconti logo on the lid. So that's the box for the Faber-Castell loom. It's just a box. But you get a little leaflet with it. And then it also came in a cellophane sleeve. So, not really too much to say about that. Oops. Alright, so that is all I got from Edison Pens. Now let me go ahead and show you the rest of the pens that I got from the other vendors. And again, if they have a website, I will put them in the description section of the video. And I'll tell you where I got each one. Yeah, Anderson's, oh my gosh, I love Brian and Lisa. They are just such terrific people. Just absolutely wonderful. Alright, so Now I do have this case filled up with pens, and I'll go ahead and tell you about each one of them. I did not get all 12 of these pens at the pen show, but I did get 9 of them at the pen show. So this first one that I'm going to go ahead and take out, this is a vintage Waterman that I got from a lady named Kim. I believe her thing that she calls herself is Pen Quest. And let me get my scratch pad. I did a little writing sample already with it. I tried to shoot this video before, but I wasn't really liking how it was turning out. So again, the handwriting kind of really stinks, but it writes very smoothly. It's just a vintage Waterman. I put in here, the ink I put in here, I believe is now this will post this will post very nicely. The ink that I believe I put in here was the Pelikan Edelstein. So again, this is the vintage. Oh, I hate writing at this angle. Waterman. Very nice. Oh, my cross strokes aren't wanting to come out. There we go. All right, so very, very nice. I'm really going to enjoy using that in my journal. They call this the Brazilian Green. These next 3 pens that I'm going to show you came from a gentleman named Hirsch. And we met him, the first show we went to was in 2014. So we've seen him at all 3 of the Chicago pen shows that we've gone to. And he is just such a nice person. My daughter's taken quite a shine to him. And my husband and I, we just love him. So Hirsch, if you're watching, hi. This first pen that came from Hirsch is a Parker 51 Flighter, and they call this a Flighter because of the finish on it. There's all kinds of different Parker 51s in different colors. My husband actually collects them, so he's got a whole case of these Parker 51s. Now, I did some writing with it earlier. Try to get where we can see it. Here it is, right there. Parker 51 Flighter. This is a very smooth writer. It's a broader nib, very smooth. I believe the ink I used in this is that Mont Blanc purple that I showed you guys that I got from Anderson's. So this will post nicely. And this is more of a hooded nib. Let me show you that. This is more of a hooded nib, so it's a different style of nib that you would, than you would see in other pens. But let me just do a little bit for you. I love this. Love this. Just very, very reliable. Very reliable. So that is the Parker 51 Flighter, and it's a push cap. This next one is an Ingersoll, gold Ingersoll pen. Again, this is vintage. This one also came from Hirsch. It's got a lever filler system on it. The Flighter is now I'm not gonna show you the filling mechanisms because they're full of ink and I don't want to get ink everywhere. So this one is a screw cap. We're gonna take it off. This will post, but you got to be a little careful with it. This is a pretty fine nib. Just try to get where we can write with it a little bit. Again, as you can tell, this writes very, very nicely. And I don't know that I spelled Ingersoll very well, but very, very nice. I'm really going to enjoy using this in my journal. Beautiful, beautiful pen. And this is the vintage, as I said. This is a Ingersoll. It's not really one of the, I don't think it was one of the major companies, but they made some nice pens. And last but certainly not least that I got from Hirsch is this little Wahl pen, W-A-H-L, not W-A-L-L. Later on, I believe they became Wahl Eversharp. Again, it's another gold pen. There's the clip. It's a screw cap. And again, this is another fine nib. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of writing with it. Let's see, wall. This one may need to be a little bit tweaked because I think I got one side of the nib tines or something that's going to be a little tricky. That's not, you know, that may need to be tweaked. So this is a wall, and I believe this is a fine nib. See, like the cross strokes, like I'm having trouble with the cross strokes on this. So I think this is going to need to be a little tweaked. I did dip it when I was looking at this from Hirsch. Again, this came from Hirsch. It wrote nicely, but I think it needs a little bit of tweaking. So, but I think once it's tweaked, I think it's really going to be awesome. So those are the vintage pens that I got. Those are the 3 that I got from Hirsch. The last 3 came from Edison Pens, which is a company that is owned by Brian Gray and his wife Andrea, and they are based out of Milan, Ohio. And they make custom pens. If you're familiar with Goulet Pen Company, Edison Pens and Goulet, they kind of have a collaboration where they make a seasonal premiere in different patterns and stuff. But Edison Pens, they have other pens besides those. They have a few different styles that they make. So I always like to. They're just super nice people. I mean, Brian and Andrea, they are great people. Just love them. And I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to them last year, which I was disappointed because we just went for the one day, and by the time we got over to their table, they had gone to dinner or whatever, and so weren't coming back for the night. But anyway, I really enjoy talking with them, really enjoy picking their brains. They're just such nice people. I can't say enough about them. So anyway, the last 3 pens that I'm going to show you are, these are in the model of their Menlo pens. Not the Premier, but these are Menlo pens. And what's nice about these is, now all of their pens will take a cartridge converter or a cartridge, but I like a different filling system for mine. Like I have a mix of modern and vintage pens, and I have a lot with cartridge converters, and they're easy to maintain and so forth, more than like, let's say a vintage lever fill, because those are a little bit harder to clean and flush out and stuff, but I still like a different kind of filling system. So as I said, this is in the style of a Menlo. This is their Menlo pen. Now this one, there's kind of a little story behind it. This is basically kind of a one-of-a-kind Edison, because he only got a stick of this material. You see this speckles right there? He only had a little, he got this material from Tanzania, and he just had a little tiny bit of it. And so he was only able to put it on just this much of the pen, and he was not able to get any more of this material. So this is basically a one-of-a-kind pen. Therefore, the cap is black because he didn't have enough to put it on the cap or up here or anything. So basically, I have a one-of-a-kind Edison pen. So I had to get it because of that, but I really like this design. I'm not going to show you the filling system because I have ink in it, and I don't want to splatter ink everywhere. So I am a poster, so I post my pen. Now, I got all of these in the medium nib. Okay, so this is Edison Menlo. Whoops. And again, this handwriting is going to stink at this angle, but what do you do? So, very, very nice writing pen, very smooth. You know, when you get the pen, he makes sure the nib is going to work well for you. So that is the first Menlo that I got in this design. The next one I got, again, this is a Menlo, but it's a pretty wine-colored design. And this one has a little ink viewing window, so sometimes you can kind of see the ink in there, tell how much is left in there. Again, it's got the pump filling system that I like. Again, I got this in a medium nib. Okay. Edison Menlo. We're going to call this number 2. So we can see. Writes very, very nicely. And this is a screw cap. Now this last pen that I'm going to show you that I got from Edison Pens, again, it's a Menlo style. This one is kind of fun and whimsical. Now, again, if you're familiar with the Goulet Pen Company and you have seen their spring edition, this is what they call the water lily. You can kind of see the pink and the turquoise design, but there's a little bit of a story behind this. And I think it was last year at the DC Pen Show, there was a customer that said it looked like a unicorn barfed on it. So now it took off. And so now this style, you know, this design, this pattern is what's called the unicorn barf pen. So if you go all over Instagram and if you hashtag unicorn barf, or if you look for unicorn barf, you're going to see all different kinds of pens in this pattern. So when I heard this, you know, because Brian was telling me about this, when I heard this, it just really struck my funny bone. And I swear, like, I sat at his table and laughed and laughed and laughed for like 3 solid minutes straight. And I got him going because I started snorting and, you know, sometimes how I get when I laugh. But, I mean, it was so funny. So funny. So I had to have this just strictly on principle. But it is a very pretty pen. I like it anyway. It doesn't trip my husband's trigger, obviously, because I think this is probably more geared toward maybe a lady's pen or whatever. But, I like it. I like it a lot. I love it, in fact, and I'm going to be using it a lot. Again, I got this in the medium nib. Oh my gosh, cap on it was really tight. And I got this in the pump filling system again. These Edison pens I did not get in a cartridge converter style. I wanted the pump fill. So what we're going to do, I'm going to write unicorn barf. Menlo from Edison Pens. And again, very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. So, this is just kind of a fun, just something really fun. Fun. So those are all of the 9 pens that I got from the Chicago Pen Show. Now, if you're just kind of curious about the other things that I have in this case, I'll go ahead and show you that, even though there's 3 that I did not get from the pen show that I've had for a while. This one here is a vintage Schaefer in this sort of jade green color. And I don't remember where I got this one, but I've had it for a while. This color green, like, I'm kind of fortunate that it stayed this color green, because I've often heard that this color often turns brown, I guess because of the latex sacks or something like that give off some sort of a something or other that turns it brown. But I'm really fortunate that this didn't discolor. And then I have my TWSBI VAC 700 that I have Diamine Soft Mint in. You can see it kind of sloshing around. It's not very full anymore because I've used quite a bit of the ink supply in it. That is in a medium nib. And then the other pen that I have in here that I did not get from the pen show is my Pelikan M800 Special Edition. This is called the Grand Place, that I think I showed in a video. So that's all the pens that I have in this case, and that is what I got from the Chicago Pen Show. I know this video got to be quite long, but I did want to show you guys everything and share that with you guys, because I was really, really excited about everything I got. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this, and we'll talk to you guys all later. Bye, guys.